My meditation.
A miracle is an event that reveals a supernatural act of a divine agent. It happens when human ability cannot provide a solution to extremely critical situations. In essence, a miracle is the hope for the hopeless. John chapter 11 talks about the concept of hope for the hopeless. The story is about the illness and death of Lazarus, and how Jesus Christ used the opportunity to reveal God's supernatural power, which can restore lost hope. All of these point to a miracle, which is the hope of the hopeless. Let us open our Bible to John chapter 11 to explore. Most time, Jesus always performed miracle when all hope is gone, to demonstrate his supernatural power and to glorify the Father. One thing we must know as a child of God is that when difficult times persist, it's an opportunity for God to prove his sovereignty in our lives by coming forth to pave a way out of such situations, so he might allow those tough times to last long and situation grows worse. So by that, his move will be more felt when he's around, working mightily, because we will begin to realize that things are not happening due to our human ability. Then we would learn to totally rely on the divine power of God. Yes, meditating on John 11, verse 4, we can conclude that Lazarus had to die in the first place to create an opportunity for a miracle which would glorify the Father and the Son. Interesting. John 11, verse 6 shows that Jesus intentionally stayed back for so long before going to Judea to visit Lazarus. As the child of God, when situations get out of control and human ability tends towards exhaustion, God is behind, waiting for the time to intervene miraculously. When the children of Israel were stuck at the Red Sea, with no hope of escape from Pharaoh's wrath, most of them had given up and started cursing Moses. Open Exodus 14 verse 11. Hear what they said. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Listen to Exodus 14, verse 12 also. Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, Let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians, than that we should die in the wilderness. But the miracle-working God showed himself. He paved a way by dividing the Red Sea through supernatural power, and the hope of inheriting the land they were promised was restored. Indeed, hope for the hopeless. In verse 7 of John 11, when Jesus told his disciples, Let us go into Judea again, he knew that the opportunity to prove his supernatural power over death was opened, since Lazarus was already dead. Lazarus's case had gone beyond ordinary. It was not a fresh dead body. The body was already disintegrating. No human ability, not even the best doctor in the world, could revive such body. Martha's expectations was to see Jesus arrive quickly, to heal Lazarus of his sickness, to prevent his death. When she said unto Jesus, in verse 21, Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. But Jesus' target was to perform a miracle of raising the dead. Because the Bible says in Isaiah 55 verse 8, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord." In verse 24 of John 11, Martha was relating the miracle that was about to happen at that moment with the resurrection of the dead on the last day. When Jesus told her in verse 23 that Lazarus would rise again. Their experience of Christ's power was limited to healing alone. They believed that if Jesus was around before Lazarus died, he would have healed him. But Jesus' supernatural power goes beyond healing and surpasses death. He has power over sin, sickness, infirmities, principalities, evil spirits, death, and Satan. 1 John 3, verse 8b, says, "For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil." Martha's hopelessness grew worse. In verse 39, the same person Jesus told that her brother would rise, in verse 23, was still doubting Jesus when he asked them to take the stone away from Lazarus's tomb. But Jesus reminded her and revealed his plan and purpose for staying so long. In verse 40, John 11 verse 40 says, "Jesus saith unto her, Saith I not unto thee, that, if thou would believe, thou shouldst see the glory of God." The main purpose for allowing Lazarus' death is for the glory of God to be revealed and for the Son of Man to be glorified. At the end, the miracle happened. John 11 verse 43 says, "And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth." John 11 verse 44 says, "And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave cloths, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus saith unto them, Loose him, and let him go." Also John 11 verse 45 says, "Then many of the Jews which came to Mary, and had seen the things which Jesus did, believed on him." So, the glory of the Father was revealed, and the Son was also glorified. Their hope was restored, and they all believed in him. When tough situations persist, hold on to the Lord firmly. Inform the Lord and call upon him fervently. Remember, Romans 10 verse 13 says, "For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved." And lastly, await God's miracle, because God is able. Thanks for staying tuned. God bless you.